Man, yo, got this damn knot on my back. It's like a pinched nerve. Yo, it's killing me. I can't even walk straight. Damn it. Anyways, it's winter. And you know what the worst thing about winter is? Munching on junk food. Yes, it is the worst time of the year where you let yourself go and the weather just makes you want to eat comfort food. I know. Everybody goes through this. I mean, sometimes you feel so lazy to even go to the gym. You wake up at 5 to do your workout. The sun is not even out as yet. It's dark outside and you just don't get into the mood to train. But don't worry. Today we'll be talking about the keto diet. You probably have heard of the keto diet before. It has been around since the 1920s and it is the perfect diet to go on during the winter time. Why? Because during the winter we tend to eat comfort food, which is normally high in sugar, high in carbs, whereas the keto diet completely eliminates most carbs and sugars. So today we'll be going into pros, cons, tips and tricks on how you can use this diet to really bring down body weight and achieve weight loss without much training. But wait, I am no dietitian. Today I'm just going to give you a basic overview of what the diet is. I've tried it for 1 year, which is a very long period to do a keto diet. This is my second time going into a ketogenic diet and whew, it is so much easier this year compared to last year. I mean, when I started it last year, January, I was 89 kilos and in the first 6 months I managed to drop almost 7 kgs without any weight training. Yes, I did a bit of cardio in the morning, maybe 3-4 times a week, but still, just not enough to really get into a calorie deficit. As I mentioned, I am no dietitian. I'm just giving you my perspective over the diet. I've tried it for 12 months. Now I'm trying it for 1 to 2 months. I'm still not 100% sure if I'm going to go 2 months or keep it 1 month, but this year I'm doing a little bit different. I'm going to introduce intermittent fasting into my diet. I've started intermittent fasting a few months ago and man, whew, I mean, the amount of willpower you need to get through intermittent fasting. So make sure you consult with your doctor or your dietitian on the ketogenic diet. This is a high fat diet, so it might not work for you depending on your health and your condition. It's always good to get professional advice. So when it comes to any type of diet, calorie deficit is the fundamental process that you need to understand when losing weight and body fat. So what is calorie deficit? Basically burning more calories that you eat on a daily basis. It is that simple. There's actually only 2 ways the body will be able to do this. One is burning calories in the gym. So for example, if you eat 2000 calories, you want to burn around 2500 calories to get into calorie deficit. If you obviously cannot exercise and burn this amount of calories, then you need to eat less than your BMR. So what is BMR? Basically, it is basal metabolic rate. This is the amount of calories that you need in order for your body to operate on a daily basis. So for example, if your BMR is around 3000 calories, which means you need to consume 3000 calories in order for your body to work efficiently. Now, calorie deficit basically means that you need to burn more than 3000 calories or you need to eat less than 3000 calories. It is that simple. There is an equation for male and females, so I'll put it up here. Basically taking in your body weight, your height, and this can easily determine the BMR in order to know how many calories you need to burn to actually lose weight. I know, a lot of you don't have time to exercise. It's very important to actually make time to exercise. At least half an hour a day is better than nothing. Going into a ketogenic diet or intermittent fasting, which I'll discuss on my next video, actually speeds up the process for fat burning. Let's go back to the basics and understand a ketogenic diet. Basically, you need to consume more fats than carbs and protein. So I'm going to put up a chart here, but basically this means you need around 20% protein, 70% of fats, and at least maximum 10% of carbohydrates. This is really crucial. You don't want to go more than 10%. 10% on average is around 30 to 40 grams of carbohydrates. What happens when you go into ketosis or when you start the ketogenic diet, your body changes its fuel source. So we normally would rely on glucose, which comes from carbohydrates, carbohydrates, and glucose is the fuel that gets us going every day to do any physical activity. This is the main reason why your body produces glucose. Now, with a ketogenic diet, it's the total opposite. You want to now remove all glucose in your body by substituting it with high fat, which people will then say, oh my god, I'm going to be eating high fat. Isn't fat unhealthy? Isn't it dangerous? Yes and no. I'm not going to go into the detail. Today I'm just giving you a basic overview so you can do more extensive research. Basically, eating healthy fats like flaxseed, MCT oil, olive oil, cheese, fish oil, and whole type of nuts and seeds that has really healthy fats. Now you watch all these videos online and you see guys racking up that bacon and whole sort of greasy foods. Now this is the unhealthy side of the ketogenic diet. It's fine to do it once or twice a week. Eating bacon, greasy bacon every single day, part of a ketogenic diet, you are going to do real damage. So even though it says a high fat diet, make sure that you have healthy fats in your diet. So 70% high fat content, which means you only need to worry about the carb intake that you have in a day. So what I did last year is I made sure that every food that I consumed that has some nutritional information at the back, I made sure that it added up to 30 or 40 grams in that day. I would never go over. And I know it's difficult, but the first week of a keto diet is the hardest, especially if you're older and you've been on a normal glucose diet for the last 20 or 30 years of your life, and then all of a sudden you take away that glucose and you start feeding your body with fat. That first few critical days actually helps the body get into ketosis. So it is very important to watch what you eat in the first week. The fastest way to speed up your process is to go into intermittent fasting, but if you just want to start on a basic ketogenic diet, make sure that you limit your carbohydrates to at least 20 grams in the first week, gradually pick it up to 30 or 40 grams going forward. The faster you starve your body from any carbohydrates, the faster the body goes into ketosis. Last year we've been hit with COVID and all the gyms were closed, so it was a bit difficult, but I managed to actually do some ab exercises every day. I made sure I did my cardio in the morning just to get the blood flowing and help with burning some extra calories. So without further ado, let's look at the tips and tricks, 7 tips that I have for you to get started on a ketogenic diet. Number 1, drop all carbs in the first 4 days until you get into ketosis. There are many tests that you can buy, which you can diagnose at home to check if you're actually in ketosis. But how would you actually know you're in ketosis is something called a keto flu. Now, if you're very strict on your keto diet in the first week, you will find after 5 days you will get this kind of flu symptoms. It actually feels weird, your nose gets a bit stuffy, you got this little sniff that actually feels like a flu. It's so weird, but this is what you call a keto flu. Basically, your body is transitioning from glucose to fat and using the fat as a fuel source. Then you know you are fully in ketosis. That brings me to my second point. Remove all high carbohydrates and high sugar content food from your house. So chocolates, chips, whatever junk you consume, especially when you're sitting watching some Netflix, some movies, and unconsciously you're just throwing things in your mouth. This is the problem, because you don't want to be left with cravings and knowing there is some good sugar content in the cupboard. Number 3, buy high fat snacks. So I have a few of my favorite snacks down here. I mean, a lot of stuff is sugar free, but I like to have a double cream high fat yogurt. This is a plain yogurt. Make sure it's plain. Anything with flavor will contain sugar, so it's always important to look at the nutritional information at the back, and this gives you a clear indication of how much of carbohydrates is in here. The next thing I really love are these wafer biscuits from Woolworths. If you're here in South Africa, Woolworths is very popular. This is no sugar at all. These Belgian dark chocolates. Now, Lindt also sells a lot of nice dark chocolates. I will normally go for something above 60% cocoa, so a sugar-free or a dark chocolate with really high cocoa will be good. Another nice snack that I often eat are these Goulon sugar-free biscuits. These are really nice. I mean, I normally have about 1 or 2 a day. You get those times where you're sitting watching some TV and the tummy is trying to talk to you and it's telling you it wants some food. So feed yourself, but you're obviously feeding yourself with healthy, high-fat snacks. The next tip I have is actually train at least minimum 3 or 4 times a week. It is so important to do some exercise. There is no alternative for exercise. You need to get the blood flow, you need to get the heart pumping. If you do not have a gym, try and do some exercise at home. Go for a run, go for a cycle, whatever gets that blood pumping. It's always a bonus when you mix exercise with a fat burning diet. My next point is do not cheat. Unfortunately, you cannot have a balanced diet when it comes to a ketogenic diet. There is no such thing as a cheat day. I mentioned that it takes your body around 4 to 5 days just to get into a ketosis. So what will happen once you have a cheat day and then you eat some high carb food? You are going to kick yourself out of ketosis, which now means you need to get it back into ketosis, which takes another week or so. So without wasting any time, the best thing to do is not cheat at all. I mean, this diet should be 1-2 months. What is 1 or 2 months without cheating? I mean, you are going to be sacrificing a lot of good food out there. I mean, there's no such thing as a pizza, no burgers, no white bread. I mean, imagine going a month or 2 without a pizza or a nice juicy beef burger. Oh my god, that will be tragic. But a diet is serious stuff, so if you want to burn fat, it's the only way, people. And the last tip that I have for a ketogenic diet is drink plenty of water. Yes, water is still the most important thing you need to consume on a daily basis. Without water, your body cannot function, you cannot think properly, and you're going to get brain fog. Because on a ketogenic diet, you're going to see in the first few weeks, you're going to be dropping a lot of water as well as burn a lot of body fat. And this is something new to your body, so your body is just going to try and hit back, and you need to get that mindset, get that discipline, and get a strong willpower to fight your cravings and make sure you stick on your diet. So it's really important to drink enough water in the day. I mentioned all the tips and tricks for you to get into a ketogenic diet. Now let's look at the cons. What are the cons when it comes to a ketogenic diet? Firstly, indigestion. Now, I didn't suffer with much indigestion until my 4th or 5th month, and I noticed at the 5th or 6th month, my indigestion was getting so bad that I started getting back pain. Why? Because there's hardly any fiber in my body. Fiber you will find in most carbohydrates. Now that we're removing most of the carbohydrates from our diet, we need to find an alternative. So psyllium husk is one of the most popular things used. Coconut naans, certain bread, muffins, all of this you can use a psyllium husk. It's kind of a binder when it comes to making keto foods. So psyllium husk is a very popular fiber that you can use during your keto diet. The next thing you have to watch out is your hunger. I mean, the first week is the hardest. You'll be sitting there thinking about, oh, you know what? I didn't have much carbs today, and now my tummy is rumbling. It's trying to get some fuel. It's trying to look for the fuel. There's hardly any carbs in the body. So what your body is going to do now, it's going to start tapping into that fat. That is why it's so important to have keto snacks. My favorite keto snack is peanut butter. I would sit with a tin of peanut butter and gulp down at least 2 tablespoons, and that gets me through for the next 2 to 3 hours. So I know it will be hard in the first week, but after a week you will find that that hunger craving will disappear completely. Another con that you will find when you're on a keto diet is the strength that will actually decrease, especially in the gym, especially if you're doing weight training. Glucose, the ultimate fuel source, is no longer in your body. You will find that you are not able to push that heavy weights that you could have done before you started the keto diet. And that is it on the con side. So overall, you would notice that you improve cognitive function. You'll be able to focus for longer hours. You will find a burst of energy, especially in the mornings when you wake up. Try it for at least 2 months to actually see its effectiveness. It really is a powerful diet if used properly and you keep it really strict, because that's the only way. So to summarize the ketogenic diet, basically 70% fat, 20% protein, and 10% carbohydrates. Something I didn't mention is the protein. Consuming too much protein, more than 20%, can actually influence the glucose in your body and actually can break down into glucose. So it's really important to keep it around 20%. Once you do your BMR calculation, you would know what that 20% is. So you don't have to only look out for the carbohydrates, which is the biggest factor, but also make sure that you keep within that 20% of protein so you don't have any glucose fighting ketosis. So before I go, here's a quick summary of the foods to avoid. I made some notes. I don't want to leave you without any information. Firstly, sugary foods, candy, smoothies, ice cream, any type of soda, all contains high sugar, so please avoid. Grains or starches, potatoes, sweet potatoes, pastas, rice are the main starches that you want to avoid. Beans is a no-no, unfortunately. Baked beans, you gotta love baked beans, but yeah, you have to cut it out. Sauces like salad dressing, any type of sweet sauces that you add, sweet chili, anything that's kind of sticky that might contain sugar, you need to completely cut that out. Alcohol, a lot of people mix alcohol with soda, for example cocktails, you want to avoid this. Sodas is a no-no, contains really high sugar and you do not want glucose in your body. So that is basically the food you need to avoid. Now let's look at the food that you can enjoy on a ketogenic diet. So meat, me I'm a meat man. Steak, sausages, bacon, chicken, turkey are all fine. Salmon, tuna, trout is all good. Eggs contain high fat, one of the most popular foods to eat while on ketogenic diet. Butter and cream, high fat cream is all good. Cheese, I am a lover of cheese. This is one of the things I enjoy on a ketogenic diet, so go wild. Healthy oils, extra virgin olive oil, coconut oil, MCT oil and avocado oil is all good. So that basically is the type of food that you can eat on a ketogenic diet. Now here is a bonus. These are the keto snacks that you can munch on in between your main meals. So olives, boiled eggs, dark chocolate, full fat Greek yogurt, strawberries or plain cottage cheese, biltong. Biltong is, so that basically all the keto snacks in a nutshell. As I mentioned in the beginning, this is just a basic overview of a ketogenic diet. There is tons of research on the internet. I just made this video to just give you an update. I've been receiving a lot of messages on social media. You know what, let's just make a keto video because this was pending for a long time and I'm happy that I've done this. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to hit that subscribe button and that notification bell, and I will see you on the next one.